So the AP is reporting that federal immigration officers are asserting sweeping power to forcibly enter people's homes without a judge's warrant. In other words, we can do whatever we want and screw you. So this came out yesterday, the 21st. Now, this regards entering people's homes, so private residences, without a judge signing off on it, getting a warrant. So they're calling this an administrative warrant, which is being used as a means of final removal. I don't like that language. I mean, there's a way to handle immigration, but final removal sounds like you're trying to get rid of garbage. You know, people are people. And I'm all for going after illegal immigrants. So welcome back to the channel, Culture Confederacy here. It's late Thursday night, early Friday morning. And if you're new to the channel, no fancy graphics, nothing like that. What you see is what you get. And it's anything goes. So we might talk about history, culture, maybe a tinge of politics, current events. So it goes on to say here again over at the AP, the memo authorizes ICE officers to use force to enter a residence based solely on a more narrow administrative warrant to arrest someone with a final order of removal. And people are saying, advocates are saying that this clashes with the Fourth Amendment protections. Now it says here, the memo itself has not been widely shared within the agency, according to a whistleblower complaint, but its contents have been used to train new ICE officers who are being deployed into cities and towns to implement the president's immigration crackdown. So they're using this memo to train these ICE agents, when what you should be doing is training these ICE agents in the Constitution. What the Constitution says, what the law says about illegal immigration. And you know what I think? In fact, I posted something on X about this. I'll kind of clean up the language here. Try to keep this a family show. But what I think is you got a whole bunch of people here who got this job with ICE, who peaked in high school, and as I said before, suffering from the big man on campus syndrome, thinking they're all that, and they've got small you-know-whats, and now it's showing. Now it's showing. Just my humble opinion here. New ICE hires and those still in training are being told to follow the memo's guidance instead of written training materials that actually contradict the memo. When did this memo become the Constitution? That's what I'd like to know. This according to the whistleblower's disclosure. It is unclear how broadly the directive has been applied in immigration enforcement operations. The Associated Press witnessed ICE officers ramming through the front door of the home of a Liberian man, Garrison Gibson, the deportation order from 2023 in Minneapolis. This happened on January 11th, wearing heavy tactical gear, it says here, and with their rifles drawn. I said it before, I'll say it again. I think it's time we call a constitutional convention and return immigration back to the states. If the U.S. government wants to handle the Atlantic coast, have the Navy, have the Coast Guard there, or the Pacific coast, even along the Gulf Coast, hey, great. So many miles out. But the rest of it really should be handled by the states. Because again, yes, the Constitution gives Congress the power to implement a uniform rule of naturalization. But in Article 1, Section 9, Section 10, it says that the states have the right to decide who they want or who they don't want in their state. the importation, or you can say immigration, of who comes into their state. I mean, this is like Nazi Germany. Do we have now ICE Nazis? Do we have Stalinistic soldiers out there? Now, this isn't to say that all ICE agents are bad, but when you have this type of culture in the bureaucracy, and that's what this has become, just like the FBI, just like the IRS, you name it, this is what's going to happen. Abuses are going to happen. And I have to reiterate this, make this clear here. If you are out there obstructing these federal officers from legitimately going after these illegal immigrants who are here illegally, then you are in the wrong. But likewise, you ICE officers out there do not have the right to detain a U.S. legal citizen against their will and demand their papers and pull them out of their cars or doing whatever you're doing with your rifles drawn when you don't have a warrant. And what the hell is an administrative warrant? What does that do? You need to have, if we're going to do it this way with the federal government, you need to have local law enforcement involved, and you need to get a judge's signature, local judge's signature on this. So tell me what you think in the comment section below. Because as the old saying goes, we are living in interesting times. But I don't want to live in Nazi Germany. I don't want to live in Stalinistic Russia or Castro's Cuba. And that's what we're becoming by allowing these bureaucracies to just rule the roost. Well, guess what, ICE? Not in my book. My taxes pay your salary. And you know what? Nobody asked me to vote on whether or not we should have an agency called ICE. That's the other thing. I don't think that any bill passing Congress, any of these agencies, should have passed muster until there was a vote on it by the people, not just by Congress, but by every citizen in this thing called the United States. They should have the right to vote on every single bill passed by Congress. It goes through Congress, then it goes up to vote for the people, so you're not just voting every 4 years for this thing called the presidency, which is asinine to begin with. That's a topic for another time. But I thought I'd share this with you. That is the latest. You have ICE agents claiming that they have sweeping power now. Sweeping power to enter homes without a judge's warrant. Not in my book. Not when it violates the Fourth Amendment. We have a Constitution and a Bill of Rights for a reason. And if you're too stupid to know what the Constitution says as an ICE agent, you shouldn't be working for the federal government. Sorry. So tell me what you think in the comments section below. You can follow me at Instagram, Jason197711. Find me on Substack or go to Culture Confederacy at Culture Confed1. I can't even talk tonight. Been a long night at work. Been talking all night at work. But you can find me again at Instagram, Jason197711. Find me on Substack or go to Cultural Confederacy at Culture Confed1 on X. Maybe I shouldn't talk so fast on my videos, right? So thank you again for being with me. Hope you enjoyed the video. God bless. Keep up the culture. I'll catch you next time, and you'll have a great Thursday night.